ladies and gentlemen, tonight in his third world title defense, here is Dmitry Bivol.
I expect you to obey my commands at all times. Most of all, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, good luck.
But really put up a fight. Can Pascal do it?
Roy Jones, he had too much power and clocked Barrera with a left hook in the 12th round. The counterpuncher didn't give him much to work with.
No, Chalema didn't give him much work with at all. After we see that with his legs, then we'll know. Pascal doing very good here in this first round.
Yep.
Pascal will give him a little bit more to work with.
His thighs are larger too.
Yes.
He just is more of a hook.
More 60-something cards handed in by the judges in those fights. 60 rounds scored.
A good shot by Pascal.
Look at how much bigger his calves are than those of Jean Pascal.
Bivol not a very big light heavyweight. You know, one of the reasons he could campaign it, he's caught by a right hand.
Pascal backs away from that, gives Bivol a chance to test him against the ropes. The box numbers dominated by Bivol.
You have to continue the combination.
Numbers in the first round totally dominated by Dmitry Bivol. Some of Bivol's power seemed to handle that pretty well until partially blocked by Bivol, but solid effort by.
Much more relaxed and fluid now than he was early in his career when he was more athletic and sharp.
36 fighting a 27-year-old guy. Usually
get the young guy, Roy, right? Like in an exchange when he's not expecting it, in between.
Right
than a guy like, let's say, Kovalev. But it does feel to me like Bivol has to work a lot harder.
Jean Pascal throwing hard. Bivol coming back. Suddenly Pascal is not throwing. Bivol trying to slow Bivol down, but it's hard to win the fight.
Two guys not going to outwork the young workhorse, but you can outsmart it. Legs. So we'll have to see what happens once he gets hit clean. He won't take much risk, but Pascal will take risk.
Figure it out a little bit more along the way.
It's off whatever opportunity you give him. Pascal wants to limit those opportunities.
To win the fight on points.
Okay. So his goal is to.
How his legs react, because Pascal
is getting hit cleanly right now.
Hand Pascal just landed.
No, it's funny too.
A good hook by Pascal.
Partially.
So he goes back right there.
In the early going. And Jean Pascal has never been a guy who throws a lot of punches. He's not going to exceed 60.
Don King would call trickery once upon a time in order to more like a 68, 75 pound hybrid.
He throws 3 and 4 sometimes instead of just 1.
17 out of 57 by CompuBox count, and Pascal was 2 of 21. They don't look unhappy. Max Kellerman talked earlier about the trickery.
Bivol stands very disciplined while Pascal hook before the right hand came, but the hook came, but the hook is what drove him to the canvas.
Just missing with the left hook. A little bit behind the ear.
For a full round instead of him being the attacker all the time.
Now here's a strange slip. Well, one of those right hands landed.
With both hands, I mean, why not? Good jab by Bivol of distraction.
I think the only fighter I've ever known who could have generated starting to throw a few more punches than he's thrown before, and down goes Pascal on a perfect right hand in the center of the ring by Dmitry Bivol.
No, he slipped, Jim. He didn't get hit.
Okay. Falling on a swing in the middle.
This is a whole different ball game. Being an athlete and being a boxer, two different things.
Two totally different.
On both hands with a move like that would be Roy Jones. Roy Jones isn't fighting anymore.
Pascal backing him up constantly, keeping the fight in the middle of the ring.
Always relaxed, yet ready to go, because his feet are disabled now.
Yeah, it's like Bivol doesn't play into any, but I think there's a sense with Eastern European fighters that
4 consecutive rounds against 4 different opponents in which Bivol had held opponents to
where he throws both hands at the same time while he's coming forward. That's MMA.
Manic activity has come to an end, and once again, he's keeping his hands at home. Pascal was a huge Roy Jones fan, though.
Yeah, he was. Bivol seemed to have lost a shot by Bivol.
Tremendous body shot by Bivol. Pascal focusing to the body in this round.
Trust me.
We're supposed to trust you, Roy. He landed in single digits against Bivol. That was an unusually active round for Pascal. He almost never threw.
Jordan called me out last week and said he can beat the old man, so I don't know.
Body shot by Bivol.
Knew better, but was antagonizing Tony
In this round, between the hard shots, into which he really put some effort. Pascal.
Here you see Bivol go with the hook head, hook body, one of my favorite old tricks. As a matter of fact, Sugar Ray Leonard taught me that. Then he comes up
7.
with
We check in once again with our unofficial scorer, Harold.
that hook to the body. He brought his whole body with it.
Good left hook. One punch at a time for
well,
Pascal.
but Alvarez and Pascal spent numerous of years in the gym together, so they knew each other very well.
The thing about Alvarez is he was a good enough
And maybe it says a lot about Pascal's chin and durability. And that's what Pascal was trying to do, and now the fire momentarily goes out.
See how a lot of times the old guy will make one last stand to see if he can do something. And if
A little bit of the bloom come off the Bivol rose if he isn't able to knock Pascal out. But you know whose results still occupy Bivol's mind and against whom he measured? Harold.
Well, Jim, I got it 60 to 50.
knows how to get every inch of his leverage on it, Jim. I mean, Max.
And game character as he lands a big right hand here.
For them to know each other that well, and for Alvarez still to do as well as he did with Pascal.
Off, landing only 2 out of 17 punches, while Bivol was
handed guy at the height of Kovalev's
coming.
Hard shots. Bivol waited for the storm to end, and now it's his turn.
But that's what I mean about
definitely won't pack it in. I can promise you that.
He's not a pack-it-in kind of a person.
Kovalev's power. Same thing, so Pascal can't counter with a right hand.
Uppercut by Bivol.
We remember the rounds where the other guy was able to fight back a little bit. The credit for knocking him out.
And now tries to follow it up. This might be the moment he was looking for, Roy.
In the middle of the ring, he's using that left jab beautifully to set up a hard right hand.
And the last dominant Russian.
Right. He's fought the next tier down, the older fighter who used to be elite. The younger fighter
with the left hook to the body, landed both accurately.
Discovered now, and that's a whole other problem set.
But he can do more unpredictable things in there. Am I right in saying that? Pascal expended a lot of energy in the first 30 seconds of this round. Jean Pascal arrived here. What it takes to be voted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame round. The 8th, that was the good news, but Bivol landed
fighting Alvarez. And now
Pascal has been able to land some good power shots.
Was very upfront in telling us.
Can't throw it all the way though, Jim, because Bivol is going to have sense enough to go to his body after this, so he can't throw it all the way.
And that's what he's doing now. He's applying, as in the 2 fights against Sergey Kovalev, he'll take frightening punishment to try to stay in there.
Yes, he will.
That was the good news, but Bivol landed 21 by CompuBox count.
Dominant fighter, Bivol. A tough overall package that he presents. With maybe a better overall game, time will tell. A more athletic, kind of longer. The way Bivol you showed on the replay.
Is that I catch him with a big right hand and knock him. Now Pascal looking away from Bivol while punching at him.
And some of it worked.
December 11th.
They had a beautiful straight right hand when Bivol came in with his own right hand. Great counter right hand right there.
Bivol bouncing a little bit to try to warm up his legs and get ready for wild flurries by Pascal in the 7th round that suddenly got Chad Dawson in trouble. Spending a lot of energy in the first minute and still has 2 minutes.
Here and there, gave him certain difficulties. but it really speaks to Bivol's
the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. That's an amazingly high standard right there. Just, does he erupt like a storm, or does he stand back passively and wait to see what I'm going to do?
Is that body attack? That's when he was doing business.
I agree with you, Max. We'll see what happens.
Should Mikey Garcia have
Become the best light heavyweight in the world, or at least prove it.
and get ready for round 10 of a scheduled 12? It's Max Kellerman pointing to both sides of the equation, but
Yeah.
basically I agree with you, Max.
Yeah, kind of the second highest level, where we remember the time.
On a night when Dawson thought he was totally in control.
Now, Pascal's doing good, the best work of
Now it's the passive weight.
100%. Both guys seem to have a little mouse under
But
them.
he's told us, he told me in a post-fight interview in Monte Carlo.
He's had so many personas in the fight. By Jean Pascal.
I got to be ugly, but mostly blocked. And then Bivol's are landing much more cleanly. Is also fighting. And also landing punches.
Bivol to sleep.
Right.
By coming out with a total absence of activity.
Somebody needs to turn that mouse into a rat.
To compete with Errol Spence.
I think he's big enough, and his style of boxing is definitely making
I
him.
felt that he's really been at risk. I thought Pascal landed one good, not great, but it was a good one.
Pascal showed a lot of heart.
Big punches. Chalemba to a lesser degree.
I remember back in 2009, it was one of those Bivol must wonder every time he comes out. What's going to happen now? Sense of activity. And looks for the moment when he can leap into it. Pascal almost loses his balance.
I don't think it's a smart move for him to necessarily challenge Errol Spence because
That's all I need from you.
It's the 12th and final round.
Has not been a
down in
simple.
his last fight. So at this point, it would seem like Bivol may be.
But in a way, because of that,
Tonight, he doesn't
Can you
seem to be.
imagine sitting out there right now in the boxing world watching this on TV? Pascal has made it into the 12th round with Dmitry Bivol. I'm sure Roy Jones is not.
however impressed or not,
Pascal for him. So
listen,
styles make fights. So Bivol not having a heavy jab like Kovalev has make it to this point though.
Right.
So this is why the fights are so interesting for us.
it's a question because
Is not able to get him out with the right hand or the
I'm scared of Bivol. I'm not concerned about whether I have to fight that
you're
guy.
not impressed you are by Bivol. You don't think it's going to be easy.
Nope.
He's
Bivol
going to be a
the one
tough
thing you can say is there are very interesting.
dominant figure around whom the division revolves. But in fact, the division gets even more interesting. There's no clear front runner in the division. There's no
Pursuing it to the end. Jean Pascal.
Your winner by unanimous decision, Dmitry Bivol.
So unanimous decision for Bivol, and the look on Pascal's face as the